Nothing will stand in our way. I will finish what you started.
Greetings everyone, Matt coming to you from my intergalactic studio, where I'm devising the plan to crush the resistance.
Anyway, just a little fun. I thought I'd shoot a quick tutorial on how to create the Kylo Ren vocal effect. I saw Star Wars last week, and I've been thinking about it ever since. You know, like a lot of you audio geeks will sit there in the movie theater and pay attention more to sound design, the score, rather than paying attention to movies sometimes. So I've been thinking about it ever since, and I just whipped up a quick example using universal audio plugins, but really you can do this with a simple DAW. I'll show both. The three things you have to take into account for a vocal effect like this are pitch shifting, modulation, and just a simple EQ. Those are really the main things. So to start,
we'll take a look at the chain I've used.
I'm just turning it on back and forth with a MIDI control. So the first thing we want to look at is the harmonizer. Eventide harmonizer. This just came out for Universal Audio. It's amazing. One of the best plugins you can use, and probably the best real-time pitch manipulation out there. So if we turn it on, I get, oops, let's go actually turn everything off.
First, one by one, and we can hear the differences as we go down the chain. So, right off the bat, a little pitch shifting, as you imagine.
So it doesn't quite get there. And everyone's voice is going to be different depending on how you're going to adjust the pitch.
Shifter. Mine sounds good right about this level. That's how close I got to Kylo Ren's voice in the movie.
So, next, some sort of modulation. Any chorus plugin, anything that will do slight, very short delay-based modulation effect. I use the MXR because the doubler mode is really good in here. And this is what it sounds like, where you get a little bit of that robotic kind of warble, if you will. And you don't have to overdo it. You can just give it a little bit, and it makes a huge difference. So between the two of these...
Now, we're getting much closer. It's where you get that little warble happening that I wasn't getting before here. Okay? Cool. And then lastly, after that, we definitely have to eat some EQ. Add some EQ. What?
I find it hard to talk a little bit when you get into it. A little EQ. As you can hear in the original, he's got a lot of presence in his voice. And honestly, I could probably use a de-esser somewhere in this chain because it gets a little harsh. But I'm really just boosting the top end and scooping the mids. That's the main thing I found that helped. So between those three...
Let's turn those on, and you can hear right off the bat that it really helps with a little EQ. And you can scoop it even more, depending on what you want, but...
think about it. He's talking into a mask. It's obviously going to be muffled a little bit. So play with the EQ. I'm not 100% happy with it yet. After that, I added the Reverb. Very short reverb. Take it or leave it, but I think it helps. And what I like about Reverb is obviously you can change the material and the shape of everything to kind of create more, just to really shape the reverb exactly how you need.
So, if we add it in, it actually helps quite a bit. And it sounds a little more sinister if you add a little reverb. Just barely a little bit. You don't need to be even crazy. Right? So, 3 or 4%. And then...
Lastly, not a UA plugin, but I love Fabfilter. Any kind of subtle saturation might help. This one in particular because it has this smudge parameter, which allows you to create kind of like a grainy type thing, a little bit of a buffer effect, and then some final tone shaping at the end. So when I turn it on with that one too.
Check 1, 2, here we go, and listen to the difference once I add this. It's a little more robotic, a little more scooped, and the buffer effect is just a little bit around 15% gives you just a little bit more robotic sound, so you can crush the resistance.
All right, so those are the main parameters I used. Listen to the original again.
Nothing will stand in our way. I will finish
What you started. Nothing will stand.
In our way, I will finish.
what you started.
So it's close, but
Not exactly there. Good enough. Everyone's voice is going to be different. I could spend hours on it, but I'm happy with where I got. Anyway, if you don't have universal audio plugins, of course, you can do these with stock effects from something like Ableton. The main problem here is that you can't do it in real time because you're going to have to record the audio and transpose it down. For instance,
nothing will stand in our way.
I will finish.
What you started, nothing will stand in our way. I will finish.
so you're almost there. And then, like I said, any chorus, the Ableton chorus is perfect for this because you just got to move this modulation parameter around and really get what you want. And then, again, scooping some mids, and I got sort of that buffery sound, a little more pitch modulation even with the grain delay. So, works good. And it's a lot of fun, and I suggest you try.
For yourself. And you might find yourself not writing any music because you're too busy acting like a jackass inside of your studio. So, goodbye.